G'day scrappers. Well, this HP server door is part of a pickup that I just done, a decommissioned full tower server. I've got them out the back. I'll give you a little look. That's what we're going to be scrapping out today. And but before that, I also got this as part of the job, and it's a really nice big server. I'm not sure of the brand, might be Dell or HP. But this one is really good because it's very highly configured. It's got a very late model i7 CPU apparently, or a few, quite a bit of RAM. So yeah, I might scrap this one out too and use the parts to resell. Obviously I don't sell big units like this. Did get a whole bunch of UPSs from them as well. Some nice Dell UPSs and APC ones. These are like, these weigh a ton, probably the heaviest UPSs that I've picked up. I thought these ones were heavy that I picked up from the hospital, but I've still got, what, 15 of these that I need to scrap out, just haven't got around to them. There's another one here. That's a little bit what they look like inside. 2 rows of batteries make them super heavy, really huge power boards, good copper wire in there. But these are the servers that I wanted to scrap out today and just give you a little look. I got 10 of them, so they all came from a huge rack. These are pretty awesome, if I can remember. They're the Dell, what's the brand? The Power Edge R910s. Yeah, they're all R910. They're really well configured, like with stuff in there. The only thing that they've taken out was they just took out the 3 or 4 hard drives out of each one, or 3 hard drives. They had SAS drives, and so that's the only thing they took out because they wanted to reuse the SAS drives. I'm happy with that because when I pick up PCs or servers from clients, I don't resell the hard drives anyway. And SAS drives, as you know, there's nothing in them. There's just a little circuit board, so they're not like the old style hard drive. But yeah, so I got 10 of them, and they're really nice, heavy. Looking forward, I can't remember ever scrapping one out on video or anywhere. They're about probably about 8 years old now, and so they're getting on, but I think, you know, some of the components might be still okay. Like, I've just been taking out all the power supplies and testing them out. So I just used one unit to test all the power supplies out, and you know, I've showed you this before with every server. And just power it up, and I just go through, yeah. So just make sure that the green light is on, and if the green light is on, it's all working. It's a working power supply unit, so I can take it out and put it towards my reselling. These power supply units can sell pretty good, and that's all I do. So I haven't had any of them that didn't work, so really awesome. And I'll just finish off. As long as they all work, and I'm happy to resell these. Like, I don't resell the whole units, but with 4 power supplies in each one, sometimes can get about, you know, can get like 40 bucks for each one. So, you know, that's 160 bucks just for the power supplies. I'll see the RAM, CPU, anything else, any cards in there that I might be able to sell. Because I got 10 of them, can do okay out of this, and then just got to scrap out the rest. Like I said, they're super heavy. I've got no room, so I've got to scrap them out and just get the value out of the CPUs and the RAM and the power supplies and maybe a few cards. But yeah, it's been raining pretty off and on all day, so I was going to go out street scrapping. I can't do that. It's just too wet, and I've just got too much work. Look at all these Cisco switches and stuff still hanging around. So, and today all I'm going to do is I'm going to process all 10 of these, and I really got to get onto my big stack of UPSs, and even got a from this guy. He even gave me a brand new UPS. Beautiful. He said, look, it's brand new, we've never used it, if you want it. And I said, well, yeah, I'll take it. I'll keep this one because I don't often get brand new UPSs that have never been used, so I know it works. Yeah, but all right, so the stacks are all getting down. There's another tub that I emptied from processing my copper wire. This is my second bin of mid-grade insulated wire that I'm filling up. Once this is full, I'll probably go to the scrapyard and do a price check on everything, and yeah, see how we go. But let's get scrapping one of these awesome Dell R910s. I think it's going to be pretty impressive, so let's get to it. First thing, I just want to get rid of the little handles on the side here. Yeah, with these handles, obviously it's cast aluminium, so we get some nice weight here. The only thing with these ones is they've got a screw that I've got to take out, and obviously we want to get rid of our steel if we can. Should just pop out. There we go. And the other tricky part is to hold this little door. There's a pin and a spring inside, and so that's obviously magnetic, so we don't want to leave that in, just in case we go to the scrapyard and they run a magnet over my aluminium, and then that would spoil it for everything else. So it's just a matter of taking out that little pin, and in this part here there's a little spring. Right, now we've got clean cast aluminium, and I tell you what, they weigh a bit, so it's a good start. 2 on each one, 10 of them. So, you know, that's 20 of them. All right, well, formalities out the way. Oh, I've been looking forward to, as soon as I got a call and he said, I've got Dell R910s, 10 of them, and a bunch of UPSs and tape drives I need picked up. You know, I looked up Dell R109s and I said, yep, I want them. So here we go, the big reveal. Whoa, look at that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can't remember ever doing anything like this. I would have remembered. These are all 8 memory modules, right? So RAM modules, how's the size of them? Wow, this is going to be an awesome server, and huge fans. And I was wondering why it was so noisy when I powered them up. Yeah, these fans are super huge. So I've taken out the 4 power supplies, which is awesome. So as I said, even if I got $40 each, which I'm pretty sure I'll probably get a little bit more, but $40 each, 4 in each one, that's 40 power supplies. You know, there's potentially just over $1,000 just in power supplies selling them, but they could actually be more expensive. They could be $70, $80 power supplies. All right, so we've got various slot cards, and apparently there's a couple of different configurations with the RAM on each different one. So I think there's 5 of probably 3 of one and 7 of the others. So this is one version, I believe, just going by the label on the front. So I really want to look in these memory modules, 8 of them, but I want to get out these nice cards. You can just tell that they're very high end. I'm just going to put these aside and Google the model number and see if there are selling. I mean, it's one thing seeing these things listed on eBay, it's another thing to see whether they're actually selling, you know. There's a lot of recyclers out there that are try and repurpose their stuff, and you know, they got warehouses, so they can afford to sit there, let them sit on eBay for 2-3 years and maybe just sell one. I can't. I've got to sell fast moving stuff like power supply units. You know, these things you might sell 1 or 2, but it just might take a long time. But I'll check them out, because yeah, it looks like these are identical ones. So there's 2 in this one. That's quite nice. I suppose it doesn't really matter with one. I can sacrifice one. It was just hooked in. Yeah, when I've got like 10 of them, you know, if I break one, it's not going to be the end of the world. Okay, so like a network card. This looks like it's also going to be quite a high-end expensive thing, you know, really nice gold fingers and all that, but I want to make sure that it's not a really good seller or anything. If not, I'm happy to take the gold fingers and sell it as a mid-grade board, or just sell it as a slot card, depends. Already cut myself. Okay, so it's got kind of like a little RAM thing in there. Again, a nice slot card. Have to again look this up. It's got a couple of gold band crystal oscillators, so I wouldn't mind even scrapping them. But if they're you know, if they sell for, you know, $50 or more, and if they actually sell, I'll definitely try and list them. Not necessarily right away, but eventually I've got to get onto selling some stuff on eBay. Okay, all right. Well, I can see a nice big motherboard in there. I might see if I can get rid of these fans. Oh, okay. Oh, really sexy. Just get up a bit. Now, because it's an old server, the chances of these fans being needed like this is very, very slim. You know, obviously I'll have a few sitting around, because when I start looking up all these model numbers from this Dell system, you know, if I see these pop up, I'll check them out. If they're selling, I'll try, but I doubt it. All right. Now we get to getting a little bit more of the motherboard vision. So far, it's okay, I suppose. But oh, okay. So it's got, these have got 4 CPU slots. You can see the 4 clips here. So I'm pretty sure these will have 4 CPUs. Wow. Very awesome. But this is what I want to have a look at. Oh, I hope they're all full. Just push down. Oh, look at that. Oh, 4 ram sticks there. 4 ram sticks here. These are SD rams with the aluminium shield, but I believe that there's ones without the just regular ram. So you can see them there. So 8 ram sticks, and look at that. What a slot card. Wow. That is super sexy. And there's 8 of them. Oh wow, so they're all full. They got, oh wow, 8 ram sticks in each module, and there's 8 modules. So what's that? Let me just work it out. 16, 24, 40, 48, 56, 64. Wow, 64 ram sticks in each server, and I've got 10 of them, so that's 640 ram sticks. I hope they're good ones. Oh wow. This is unbelievable. Yep. Just having 8 of these nice gold fingers, but yeah, again, I don't think these a whole module would sell, simply because it's just too old of a server. They're already 8 years old, so they're not getting any younger. But maybe the RAM might still be sellable. Don't know. It's pretty hard to sell server RAM usually. Okay, there's a bit of a broken fin on this heatsink. So yeah, here's our 4 heat sinks. So there's going to be 4 CPUs. I hope the CPUs are going to be okay. I think they're Xeons, and that's almost about it. So I just want to open one of these up and just check out the RAM. Wow. Well, that's, yeah, I've never done one of these, and that's super insane configuration. I mean, how's that? What do I say? 64 RAM sticks in each one. Yeah. Let me put the cover back on so I can work on top of it. Okay, so let's see if we can get into one of these. I'll just go and clean up and put a band-aid on. Right, so it's absolutely pouring outside, so yep, as suspected, there was never going to be any street scrubbing done for today, but I'm having more fun here. Now let's get into this. Okay, release. Oh, look at that. Hey, like a little stack of bullion. All right. Wow. Okay. All right, so they're 4 GB RAM sticks. Samsung, genuine. Okay, well, oh my gosh. 4 gig RAM sticks. So, what's that? 8, 16, 32. So each of these modules are 32 gig of RAM. So times that by 8, that's like over 250 gig of RAM. Goodness me. So I can't wait to see what the CPUs are going to be like, but I think these would still be sellable. That's going to be unbelievable. Gosh. Well, this is a very quite an expensive system, this, And you know, imagine like setting up 10 of them. I can't imagine how much it would have cost them. But I don't mind getting them. Yeah, they're all 4 gig RAMs. Yep. Unfortunately, I don't have much room to store all this, like these modules. But what I'm thinking is to I'll look up one of the RAMs and I'll just store them in these modules. I don't know. I've got to work out what to do. Let's just get another one. And just make sure that they might be different. No, 4 gig. And that's the part number there. Some of you might do exactly what I'm going to do and look up that part number and see what they sell for. That's unbelievable. Wow. All right. What a super scrap. This is like the best server, PC, anything scrap that I've ever gotten. Only one main strip of wire, not much wire either. Wow, and the size of the motherboard, that's almost 2 foot long. Look at that, that's huge. So, you know, obviously server board, so we're going to get good value out of just the motherboards as scrap. I mean, it doesn't look like one of those motherboards that is really good for gold recovery or anything, so not going to have to worry about that. It's more of a motherboard just to sell as a scrap motherboard. Okay, I'll just undo a couple of the little wires. Not much there. Incredible. Let's get these CPUs out. Now, they'll probably be Xeon heat sinks. Well, at least they're copper aluminium radiators, and they've got no steel on them, so don't have to clean them up. They're ready to go. So 4 of them in each server, so that's another 40 of these. Oh, these CPUs are huge. They're almost the size of Pentium Pros. Wow, what a scrap. Wow, wow. Let's get one of these babies out. Oh, let's get them all out. Yeah, obviously this sort of stuff doesn't come on street scrap, and I don't get many servers with the 4 CPUs, unfortunately. I don't have that much luck. Oh, look at that. It's a current one. Look at the size of it. I'll just get a regular one. Well, this is a regular server CPU, which is bigger than a PC CPU. Now look at that. And I should just get a PC CPU and just have a look. All right, so that's an i3 CPU, and that's your standard PC size. Okay, and this is a well, this is actually one I've kept aside. It's a i7 but it's a server CPU, so you can see the difference in size, slightly bigger all round. And here is these ones, and look at the size of them. I mean, they're, you know, almost twice the size of these ones. Incredible. The backs, you can see the difference in the backs. i3 server, i7, and this is like almost like a green fiber with heatsink, except it's not a green fiber because it's got the pads. Wow. i3s, I don't even worry about selling i3s anymore. It's got to be i5 and above. Even the earlier i5s, like the first gen, second gen, third gen, are no good. It's at least fourth gen and above that you want to resell. These ones, no problem. This one, I've got to look it up. Give it a little wipe. Okay. It's a SLBRD. I just got to go and look it up. Okay, so SLBRD, as I keep saying with a lot of server stuff, it's either hard to sell, or like these would have been super expensive, but they're really not. Seen them listed for 10 bucks US, 10 bucks each. Here in Australia, there's a bunch of them up for 20 bucks each. A lot of time they're selling 4 in a row for like $50 for the lot, but they're not selling anyway. So with these ones, I won't bother. It's just not worth trying to sell them for 10 bucks each and list them and hold them and muck around with them. Yeah, pity, but that's how it goes. But still, they're awesome for us, you know. Still, they add a lot of weight to the scrap. Now I'll just put all this back together. But I think I should look up the RAM. RAM's a little bit different. I mean, when it comes to CPUs, they hardly ever get damaged or anything like that. So, and because they're a little bit old, because like I said, this system is 8 years old. So, and I think I'd have more luck with the other units that have got just a regular RAM instead of these ones, but I'll just look this up. Yeah, I just looked them up, and it's very similar with the CPUs as well. Like these particular ones, they're only listed at like 10 bucks each, even cheaper if you buy like, you know, a stack of them. They're selling like lots of 8 or lots of 16. Sure, I've got a lot of them, but the problem is, it's not so much what they're listing at, it's the fact that the ones that I already looked at, they're not selling, you know, and they've got lots of them, like 10 lots of 16, and they haven't even sold one, and they've been listed on for a long time. So that's the problem with a lot of server stuff. The people that use these kind of servers, you know, they're not going to buy an 8-year-old secondhand server or put new RAM into an 8-year-old system. They're giving these away. They're throwing them out, and they're putting whole new systems in. They're much thinner, much lighter, much faster. So yeah, that's the problem. But that's not a problem for me, because you know, we're going for gold recovery here, and wow. So where's the one that I did? I'll have a look at one that I did when I finished scrapping this. Ah, okay. I didn't have to undo the screws from there. Oh, okay. So it's only a crappy low-grade backplane board, but it's got some good fingers on there. Oh, so another 10 sets of these. Right, now because it's the first one that I'm doing, you know, and I'm doing it on video, talking, and that I'm not fully concentrating on it. I'll get a lot better once I do the second and third one, I promise. But I'll probably do them off camera. And there's another backplane board. This one's a little bit better. It's got some ICs, some stuff on there, so it can go as a mid-grade board. Well, a little bit better, but it doesn't have gold fingers. So now I should be able to, there we go. Oh, it's even got a little handle for me. Just got to get this out. Oh wow, look at that. I still got to get it off the back plate. Obviously I can't sell it with this, but and I can just pretty much leave it as it is, because as you can see, it doesn't really have much as far as IC chips and gold recovery. Like this side, it's pretty much nothing. And these new style CPU sockets, they're not as good as the old style, obviously, and in some countries they buy these for less, but servers probably don't count. It's more for the PCs, but I wouldn't be surprised if eventually PCs with the new sockets will go down in price, just simply because when they're sending them off for processing, the processors are saying, yeah, we're not getting as much gold out of the new style CPU. I'll talk about that another time though. So here, as you can see, all that side is pretty much nothing, you know, and pretty much junk. Like, probably shouldn't even get away with leaving these plastic bits on. And on this side, well, okay, we've got some BGAs around here, and obviously there's going to be BGAs under these heat sinks, but we're not sure whether they're good BGAs. I'll take one off just to show you. So these are obviously the good BGAs with the black tops with the gold corner. So they're all right, but there are only a couple of them there. Okay, so this is what I wanted to, the type of example I wanted to show you. So this one here is, it's a silicon top BGA. So these traditionally are nowhere near as good as these. In fact, some of these can be absolutely useless for gold recovery. So some can be okay with the silicon tops, but 99% of the time they're useless for gold recovery. We don't even bother taking them off. But sure, the processors would probably get something out of it. But these ones, they're nothing like these ones anyway. These ones are the ones you want. And as you can see, I can only see two of them here. One's only small. There's another BGA here, which is probably a good one, you know, a tiny one. But really, you know, a whole lot of like flat pack ICs all along there, but there is a lot of dead weight, so I'm happy to sell it as scrap anyway. And I'll just I'll take it off this base plate and just get a weight. I had it on zoom. I hope I wasn't too close, but I've undone the main screws, but it's still stuck to the board, so obviously we're going to have to take off all these plastic racks anyway, and a handle. So probably a good thing for the buyer anyway. They're not getting dud weight. So I could make the video look, you know, the scrap out look a little bit more professional if I just scrapped out the the first one, and then knowing where all the screws are and all the little tricky clips, it would make yeah, just make me look a bit more professional when I'm scrapping it out, you know, because you get some guys, you know, they're watching this for the first time, and they're or scrapping videos for the first time. They're probably thinking how rough I am, but it's normally because I'm just so excited, and with the first one anyway. So yeah, I probably should scrap one out before I put it on video, but hey, that's what it's all about. Just random scrapping stuff as it comes in, and my videos are not really trying to be super professional. Okay, so with all the clips out, it looks nicer for the gold recovery guy to buy, but also I've got to take out these little clips. So again, it reduces a bit more weight, but at least now we're getting a little bit of cast aluminium. But it's they just got to come out because it's stuck, screwed into the actual base plate. We'll get there. That's the beauty of working for yourself and scrapping e-waste and picking up e-waste. No one's sort of standing behind me watching me how I do things, and whether I'm, you know, not very efficient or being clumsy, it doesn't matter, because I only answer to myself. And yeah, but by the second and third ones, I'll be doing this like a champion. All right, now that should release our base plate. It looks like we've just got this pin here. Just a little riser pin, it's only steel. Okie dokie. Well, I can now chuck this back in. All right, and obviously I can fill this up with scrap metal, all kinds of things, plugs that I've been removing off wire, and yeah, so now it's a very pretty server board. That's basically, you know, what you expect. The buyer will be really happy, extra happy. The little battery, take it out, it's very important. And there we go. So as you can see, you know, when I look at this, as far as gold recovery is concerned, you know, straight away I'm saying I don't need to depopulate this, because all this is dead weight right up to these heavy little transformer things. And on this side, yeah, sure, this side's a lot better, but still not anything spectacular. The only thing I would say is for those that are into palladium, silver recovery, and picking MLCCs, these will be good MLCCs for, they'll be noble metal with the palladium and silver, and these ones in here will be really nice. They're only small, but they'll certainly add to your palladium collection. If you wanted to pick out some of these, if you're into precious metal recovery, also next to the risers, I could just see the caps on them. They just look much shinier, much nicer, silvery color. So, you know, that's about all I would do, is maybe pick off a few MLCCs for my own little personal thing, but it's not going to be noticed by the buyer. ideally, if you can, on server boards, try and take off these plastic pieces. You know, they don't weigh much, but it's just rubbish, and you shouldn't leave them on. On the back, there's really nothing. These are aluminium, so they're not adding too much weight, and obviously they stay there with the whole clip here. But yeah, just amazing the size of these CPUs. I mean, that's huge. Yeah, just unfortunately it's mostly for copper recovery, so this back plate is a nice thick chunk of tinned copper, and then yeah, but you know, it still will have good MLCCs there, and even the little dots there, really tiny little MLCCs, and probably a mix of resistors, but we'll still get at least good silver recovery and a bit of palladium. And as you know, palladium's worth a lot of money these days. All right, well, let's just finish this off, and we'll do a bit of a tally on what we've got. And then what I'll probably do is open up another version and just have a look at the RAM, because the RAM looks like the only different, but maybe even the CPU might be different, but we won't get that far. And my favorite type of pin are these ones here from the servers. They're just much nicer. Just a little connector board. Does have two tantalums I might pinch. Otherwise it's you know, just get away with being a mid-grade. It's more of if I take off the tantalums, it's basically just a low-grade board. Bit of wire. Low. All right. It's just a DVD here. It's just a little kind of like a battery thing, and yeah, we've got everything out of it. Obviously there's many hard drive slots. From what I've seen, a lot of these don't really get used. They usually only use one section and put 4 hard drives in there, and that was the case with these, but they've already taken them out. So I can get rid of this. Yeah, as I said, that's a huge cavity to throw in all kinds of junk. Really good, especially for me, processing a lot of small stuff. Awesome. One Dell R910 scrapped out. Wow, certainly something to look out for, R910s. Let's have a look at what came out of it anyway. Well, here we go. So this is what we ended up getting out of the one server. So I'll start with the bit of aluminium. All adds up. Got 4 of the copper aluminium radiators. So we sell these as copper aluminium radiators. Some people like to pull these apart. Not me. I just prefer to sell them as they are. Got 4 power supplies. Got our nice motherboard. So can't complain with that. Huge. I just want to give it away, just to get an idea on basic scrap value. Okay, it weighs 2.76 kilograms. What's that? 4, 5, about 6 pounds. So 2.76 kilos. Still, it's worth, just as scrap, it's worth, you know, probably 15 bucks here anyway. So that was our motherboard. And the awesome thing, 64 RAM sticks. Can you believe that? I've never done anything with anywhere near 64 RAM sticks. So multiply that by 10 servers, that's 640 RAM sticks I'm going to have out of this, you know, pickup so far. And then I do have that big server that I showed you, but that's just incredible. As I said, yeah, we could sell them for 10 bucks each, but I'd sit on these for the next 50 years because then they just don't sell. People aren't buying them, you know. Be lucky to sell 3 or 4 every so often, but they just don't sell, unfortunately. 4 awesome CPUs, same deal. They're not really selling, and, you know, competing against other guys that are selling them for 10 or 15 bucks each. Not worth it when I can sell i5s, i7s really easy. Then we've got a range of slot cards. 2 of these ones which I think are pretty good, but it's going to be the same deal with all of them. They're just too far gone, and people just aren't going to be buying them. You know, got a little module in there with also with gold fingers, so it's all good. But yeah, some risers, slot cards, pretty cool. And then obviously we've got the 8 memory modules that the RAM sticks were in, and I took one apart. So that's basically what we got. That's the little mechanism for this. So even this sort of stuff would have been expensive in its time, you know. Unbelievable. But there's our little card. I took one of the heat sinks off just to have a look at the actual chip. It's again, it's a silicon BGA, so most likely not very good for gold recovery, this. But, you know, still, it's nice set of fingers. So we can almost get away with this. You know, we can get away with it as a slot card to get better value. If I took off these fingers for gold recovery, we've got ourselves just a mid-grade board, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm not really sure on these ones. I'll have to think about what to do with them, whether they just sell them as slot cards like that. Yeah, but 8 of them, bunch of there. So many RAM sticks, 4 CPUs, aluminium, power supplies, wow, and of course the motherboard. So pretty awesome scrap there, guys. This is what I call a super scrap. Unbelievable. So I'm just going to clear this away, and I want to get another version of this same server. I just want to have a look at the difference in the RAM. Okay, so it looks like they've all got different kind of configurations as far as cards. This part's the same, but it does vary on the different cards here. That's cool. Okay, so this is one of them without the that doesn't have the SD RAM. It's just got regular looking RAM. So before the battery runs out, oh, okay. Well, this is more like it. These are the ones that we want. They're 8 gig. Okay, well now we're talking turkey. Just have a look on the other side. If these are all, oh yeah, and look at all the little BGAs, both sides. Right. I knew the battery was going to go flat on me any moment, but it gave me a chance to look up the RAM sticks anyway. So yeah, 8 gig RAMs, you know, again, server, you know, if they were PC RAM, that would be awesome. but still, these ones sell for about 20 bucks each. So at 20 bucks each, they're worth listing and selling, because they're 8 gigs, they're more likely to sell. I saw a few on eBay that already have sold, so yeah. But with the 4 gig ones, they're not going to be worth it. So, oh wow, I mean, how many were there in this? 64. 64, you know, that's over $1,000 worth of RAM potentially. So it just gives you an example of what these things would have been worth, and unbelievable. Yeah, they're all 8 gig RAMs. Yeah, 8 gig RAM. That's a part number if you can see it. Probably not. Hard to tell. But, yeah, 64 of them. Geez. And I'm not sure. I think there's at least 5 with this variation. So let me just grab one module out of the next one. Oh. Okay, well, here's another module from the next one. Same deal, 8 in each one, 8 times 8. Oh, this one is only 4 gig. Okay, so it's a bit tricky, but still might be easy to sell these ones without the aluminium heat shield for some reason. I don't know why. 4 gig, I'll get another one. This is out of the same, I'd imagine it'd be the same one. Yeah, so these ones are 4 gig out of the next server that I'm going to be doing. But because they're so heavy, I can't, I don't want to lift them up. I'll just do them as I go. But yeah, so that one on top is 4 gig sticks by the looks of it. The one down on the ground is the aluminium shield ones, same as this one behind me. That's got to be done, but yeah, I'm hoping underneath there's going to be more of these 8 gig. Wow. And yeah, 64 in each one. That's incredible. But even if I only have one with 64 8 gigs, it's still sellable. So, oh, incredible, unbelievable, guys. Super scrap of the century for me. Well, you know, almost anyway. I mean, it's certainly not the biggest pickup or the most amazing pickup I've ever picked up, but they're the most amazing servers that I've ever scrapped out. And you know, I would have been so excited just to get one. You know, I would have thought, oh wow, 64 RAM, and I've still got to look at what the CPUs are, but obviously I've got to take out the RAM, most of the modules, I think. I'm just excited now. I think it might be easy to get to the first CPU. I'm assuming that they're going to be the same CPU, but since I'm here, and just out of curiosity, oh, forgot how to do it. We might as well see what we've got here. Oh, I've got to scrap them all out. Hopefully I do most of them today. I don't know if there's going to be enough time, because they do take a bit of time. Okay, so the same kind of heatsink anyway. Similar. I'll just wipe it. Okay. Yeah, SLBRD. So the same CPUs. So we already know that, you know, these ones probably aren't worth selling, but that's all right. 8 gig RAM sticks all the way through. Unbelievable. Well, guys, I hope that was a bit of fun for you. I just thought I'd share in my excitement. Didn't go street scrapping today, so we'll have to do that next week. Yeah, as I said, I've got so many things here on the go. I need to start getting these down. So many switches. I must have about 40 or 50 switches. I just picked up a few bigger Cisco switches as well the other day. A lot to go through and catch up on. So yeah, I'll just keep making some shorter videos, hopefully, of stuff as I go. But for now, this is me. Super scrap for the year anyway. Keep scrapping, guys. Have fun, and I'll catch you soon.